let's talk a little bit about the LA 2020 uh, program, right? So the
Mm,
Olympics is going to be a massive one. Los Angeles is going to be a, one of three to again host the Olympics, what, three times, and
mm,
it's a massive feat, and they're looking forward to this in some interesting ways. But the thing that came out was the 100-meter final on day one of the track and field program, marketed in a way to celebrate women, but not necessarily thinking about how difficult this is going to be. And yeah, when I saw it, the words that I really want to say, I cannot say on air because it just wasn't the right. Yeah, when I read this, I was saying to myself, how I cannot believe someone came up with this. And on the heels of what happened last year in Tokyo, this season in Tokyo or in Paris, and all these few years going back, where as soon as the women finish running the 100 meters, they immediately start to run the 200. And you had
200.
a video where you read the parts of the agent of Julian Alfred, and they're upset. So
Yep.
can we fix this, Leighton? I know I haven't really asked a real question, but what are these guys thinking? I don't understand this one. Yeah.
I've given it some thought, and the only thing I can come up with that's logical is that the local organizing committee, I
Hmm.
mean, it's the USA. The USA has had two of the last three world champions, or the last two world champions. No, yeah,
Yeah, the
sure.
last two.
Shakira, last two,
Ari
and
and
Lisa Jefferson.
MJW.
Yeah. So now that US women are on top, I think they're probably thinking, especially since Nike is running the show now with Melissa Jefferson and with Shakari, and you know the Star Athletics crew, because they're doing well. Where they're thinking that this is an opportunity to re-engage track and field fans in the United States, and win some new ones by highlighting the incredible women's sprinting that the world has come to see for the last 2 decades, especially.
But on
Um,
day one,
yeah, but on day one, and in doing so, you are actually putting the women in a position where they're looking more like guinea pigs more than anything else. Because as I mentioned on the video that I posted last night, I spoke to a number of coaches, both locally and overseas. I spoke to a number of agents, both locally and overseas. And I mean, one agent was actually, he was in Madrid, I think, because there's an agent conference in Madrid that's either just finished or just are still going on. And nobody, not one single person,
hmm,
said to me, boy, it's a good idea. Everybody was like, one person said that's total BS. One person said the organizers are losing their SHIT.
right.
There is nobody that has said, boy, you know, the only the one coach said to me, the only advantage that this has, or they have in terms of this dynamic, is that they have 2.5 years now to prepare the athletes to run 3 rounds in one day. But outside of that, it's madness. And of course, it speaks to a level of misogyny where you don't ask the men to do the same thing.
Right.
The men run one round on one day, and then the semifinal final another day. The the lack of willingness to, like, for example, some people wanted to see a Sydney 400 meter hurdle double. Some people wanted to see, I mean, remember it was 96 that they
Yeah.
actually set the
They
schedule for
changed the
Michael
program
Johnson
for
running
MJ.
200, 400, but they'd never done that for women. So there's
And I
this
guess
sense that
I guess
this,
Perrick benefited from that too, right? Because she did the double in
yeah,
'96 too.
in
Yeah.
Dublin 96, yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know whether or not people are the organizers, or whether the IOC or World Athletics or whoever is
Yeah.
handling the
LA
USA
committee. Mm.
are thinking that, you know we can run the woman into the ground, because somebody posted under the video that I posted last night to say that the first round they're going to be running at 75%. But what that person fails to recognize is that when they're running at 75% or 90% or 80%, it's still expending energy,
Yeah.
right? And you have to warm up for that, which is about an hour.
It's like an hour
Anybody
and a
knows,
half warm up. Yeah.
hour to warm up, and then another half an hour to warm down, include, and then you add the race to that where you're putting out 75%. Then to come back later on, run a semifinal at 95% or 90% or even 100%, depending on how the semifinals are set up, and then come back 90 minutes later and run a final. It's it to me, it is the most inconsiderate decision to do this. And I mean, I understand the comments that were made by Shakari and by Dina. They are Nike athletes, so they're gonna say
I don't
whatever
know
is
if they made
necessary.
those comments.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And then Janet Evans, who is leading this thing now in terms of the athletes, the liaison, is saying that they had positive discussions with which athletes I'm talking
With
to.
who? It's nonsense.
Nonsense. Listen, Janet Evans is a swimmer. She has never run 100 in her life. She does not know what it's like when you run from 0 to 70. You have no energy left to have a hold until you get to the line. She's not experienced that. Swimming doesn't take that kind of toll on your body. So I don't know who those people that she had those discussions with. Are they she talked to people from the enhanced games that that are going to be running 3 rounds in one day and expect. I mean, every single coach. Funny enough, in all of the coaches I've spoken, I think the only coach that I didn't speak to was Glenn Mills, because I tried to call him and he never answered his phone.
Right.
But from front on TVJ the night before, and the coaches I spoke with all said the same thing without prompt any at all. The the energy that you have to exert over 3 rounds on one day, it is doable, them say. But you're not going to get the performance that you expect, because at the end of the day, that's what the competition is come down to, is quality.
Right.
So when as one coach put it, let's say you have, based on what we've seen for the last couple of years, a couple of 10-6 athletes in a final, having after running 2 rounds and they're in a final. And you're probably expecting to see another 10-6 or 10-5. You're probably going to get 10-7 or 10-8. You're not going to
Right.
get that exciting, explosive performance, because the athletes are going to be tired doing that on all day. And as Warren Weir said, I saw a video from with Warren Weir saying that let's just scrap that. Let's just let them run the race and then walk back and
No.
then they run the race like that. Because that's what it boils down to. Because what I don't think people understand, and the people who are putting this thing together, is that regardless of the energy levels that you're exerting or how easy it looks, you're still exerting energy. It's like you're driving a car from here to Montego Bay. If you drive at 30 miles an hour, you're still burning gas. So to ask the women to do that is unfair, it's unjust, and it's there's a certain sense of misogyny in it. It's kind of like an old school thinking where you remember Jack Rogg back in 2008 when you see him
Yeah.
beat him chest, and he was
And he
saying, "Oh,
was
that's don't do that,
disrespectful.
that's disrespectful." To him,
Hmm.
the rest of the world enjoyed it. So there's
Mm.
this disconnect, I believe, between the IOC, maybe World Athletics, and maybe the people on the LA committee, who are oblivious to what is required for you to run 100 meters on the same day at the very top of the sport. So it's not like, say, you're running at an average meet where you have a whole bunch of average athletes running against, where you can easy and cut through. You're talking about the elite of the elite. This is what the Olympics are about, the best of the best. And
And
while
it's the
there might be
blue
some
ribbon
level,
event in track and field. It's
yeah,
the
it
most
is the blue
watched.
ribbon event.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't play around with it like that. Yeah.
and the thing about it is that if they were asking the men to do the same thing, you could probably say, okay, they're trying something new. But they're
It
asking the
still be
men,
wrong.
yeah, they're still be wrong, but you're asking the women to take on something that in real terms makes no sense at all.
Yeah. No, it's a I think it's a mistake of the highest level. But there's time to fix it if now is the time to fix it. I think it's a
Yep.
bad idea, and rightly so. Coaches will prepare athletes. Can it be done? Yes. Should it be done? The answer is no, and I
No.
just don't get it. And you brought up something interesting too, because you have to know that they have not talked to any of the stakeholders in terms of preparing athletes in any serious
No.
way,
Nope.
because Now, and if LA is thinking about stars, and if your hypothesis there or line of reasoning is to try to resell the thing to an American audience, I will say it's the Olympics. It's the only time everybody's watching the sport. This is not like we were
Mhm.
dealing in the World Championship here, but you now have an athlete that is beyond generational talent. I don't know if we'll ever see the like in a Sydney McLaughlin,
Yeah.
and you're telling me she wants to double, and you don't make accommodations for that. No, Sydney
Yeah,
has never
because
doubled at a major championship. It became news to us that she might want to double, but Bobby Kersey does what Bobby Kersey does. He's an unconventional kind of guy. But if he's saying that you can't benefit, and she lives in Los Angeles, it's her
yeah,
backyard, everything is comfortable for her, and you don't create that kind of a schedule to allow for something we've never seen. The last time
yeah,
we've seen a 400 that kind of big double is 130 Alberto Montanero. It's not happening.
176.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, because if you're a track and field purist, is one thing, but if you are a casual fan and you say, "Boy, wow, somebody want to take on these two tough events," why would you not give them the opportunity to see what unfolds?
Right.
So you're selling a sport, and you have an opportunity to create a unique experience for fans. 400 meters, 400-meter double. And you just saw this woman run 47, 78.
Yeah.
And she already has the world record in the 400-meter hurdles. Why would you not want to see somebody attempt that?
The
Especially when you look
biggest
at the court.
storyline.
Yeah, because you're looking at Femke Boy, who could present a challenge, because now that she has a 400 in her legs and she's tired. Maybe Femke has an opportunity. Maybe some of the other youngsters coming through um, can say, "Why, there's an opportunity here for us to be Sidney McLaughlin." So you never get a chance to see that, you know. So it doesn't help the sport, because they think they're helping the sport, but they're not helping it at all, because these are some of the things that people would love to see. I mean, personally, I would love to see that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, literally pay the money to see it. I mean, it's like
Oh yeah.
it is, because you will never see it again. At least not. I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime. So it's one of those things.